Hey everyone, thanks for hanging tight. My name is Chris Dow, Channel Sales Manager here for North America, but most importantly, the United States. I work extremely closely with the entire VoIP supply team, and including you, lady. So you may have had some conversation with me in the past. Wanted to give you all a sneak peek at not only some new products, but also some existing products and tying that into remote solutions slash work from home type mentality with everything going on. So hope everyone is safe. Hope everyone's staying healthy. We're slowly getting through this, and hopefully by the end of the springtime here, maybe we'll have a little bit of normalcy. So, you lady, not sure if you want to say anything before I jump too deep into it, but I'll open the floor to you here real quick and let you have a couple words.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris. I just want to thank everyone again for joining us today. We appreciate having you on. I think Chris is going to be sharing some very important information that's relevant to the times right now, very useful. And like Chris says, we have been working very closely with Grandstream for many years now. We are great partners and we love Grandstream products, and we're excited for what he has to share today.
Cool. Getting right into it. I hope to be 30, 40 minutes, I promise. I know we're all busy as stuff is reopening. So quick agenda. We'll roll through all this. I'll stay pretty high level. I'll be honest. If anyone has any questions, feel free to use the Q&A. We'll also save some time at the end for those of you who want to stick around and ask some questions. I have Abdel and Lewis from my technical team here in the background that will be answering as those questions come up. Like I said, the goal here is to be real high overview. Anything else we can take offline. For those of you who don't know who Grandstream is, real quick, uh, we were founded in 2002, so we're coming up on 2 decades of being in business. We have 9 offices around the globe, including 3 here in the United States, LA, Boston, and Dallas. We have over 600 employees at that between all the global offices. And for those of you who don't know or do know, we do have a comprehensive product portfolio. Everything ties into one another. You'll actually see, our mission is connecting the world. With our products, you'll definitely see that. Like I said, we believe in connecting the world. So we believe every business, large or small, should have the tools to communicate from anywhere on any device. You'll see, again, we design products to make that, true. Real quick, here's a snapshot of kind of the 3 ecosystems we live in. Voice and video kind of being the bread and butter, is all you know, with our IP PBXs, the UCMs, our video and desk phones, gateways, ATAs, as well as our cordless Wi-Fi devices and mobile app. We also, in this day and age, are real big into the meeting and web conferencing section. Use an IP video talk here. Obviously, for those of you who have or have not used it, there's nothing to download. It's all WebRTC based. We do have webcams that can tie into that platform, and we can go on-prem or cloud, depending upon what your needs are there. And then finally, networking. This is a segment that we're really investing in moving forward, both on the access point side, but also the cordless Wi-Fi side as well. Also with our GWIT.cloud platform, which is our cloud-based access point control, as well as GDMS, our Grandstream Device Management Service, which we'll talk about. Again, We empower businesses to do more. You'll see everything ties into one another, whether we're talking phones, surveillance, which we have upcoming, access control, you name it. It's all a part of that same ecosystem. So real quickly, just want to briefly cover the GRP line. These GRP lines are our carrier grade phones. Just because they're dubbed the carrier grade phone does not mean you have to be a carrier to deploy these. We refer to them as carrier grade for a couple different reasons, which I'll talk about here in a minute. Essentially, this GRP line is our building block for future models. So this is the direction we're going. For those of you who are deploying GXP 16, 17, and 2100 series phones, those aren't going away in 2020. The 2100 series will probably be around for a couple years, to be honest with you. But this is the direction we're going. This is the direction that we're building for the future. So why do we call these phones carrier grade? First of all, single firmware for all the GRPs. They use a unified firmware file across the board. Doesn't matter if you're using the 2616 or a 2612. It is unified. In the past, all of our phones would have different models of firmware. Secondly, go into more of a name-based config versus the current P-code based format that we've historically used. So a little bit easier as far as working within that config file. Next, dual image firmware. So if you do have a firmware that locks up, becomes corrupted, whatever it may be, you do have a secondary firmware within that phone that you can easily switch to. New LCD user interface. So we enhance the GUI design. This is uniform across the board for all the GRP phones as well. It does have an increased refresh rate. If you have one on your desk, you'll actually notice it refreshing behind the scenes. And then finally, this is what I would say the most interesting as far as I'm concerned, replaceable LCD panels. So all of the GRP models, with the exception of the 2614, have the option where you can customize the faceplate, whether you want a logo, some text on it, whatever it may be. We've recently reduced the MOQ on these. You can order them directly from VoIP Supply. They come, you see the picture here, it's 4 screws in the back. You can unscrew, pop that new plate on, and that allows you a cheap option almost to OEM devices downstream to your customers, should you want to go that route. So again, VoIP Supply can supply you with the information if that's something of interest, but it is something available to you at a low cost. So real quickly, wanted to touch on the GRPs. There's 3 models of the 2612 here. So we have the 2612 with the power supply, a 2612P, which is PoE. This phone does not come with the power supply in the box. I believe it's the only Grandstream model that does not include the power supply in the box. And we also have a GRP 2612W with PoE as well as Wi-Fi. With the W in particular, as well as the 14, 15, and 16, which I'll show you in a minute, you are able to connect that phone to the SSID of the network. So if you did have someone working remote, working from home, you could ultimately run that phone over the Wi-Fi connection of that home office for easy access to the internet. With the 2613, this is our entry-level gig phone. Won't spend too much time on this one. It does not have Wi-Fi. The 14, 15, and 16 do, which you'll see in a minute. The important thing I wanted to highlight with this one is it is our entry-level gig phone. The 14 is our flagship model. This was the first one in the series. This is PoE, this is Wi-Fi, this is Bluetooth. The differentiating factor in this one is your dual LCD screens. So you'll see the screen in the bottom right corner. I do get asked, what do you use that screen for? You can set up speed dials, BLFs, you name it. That's ultimately where you can go with that screen. Again, Wi-Fi as well as Bluetooth, so you could connect this to the SSID of a home office, a remote office, and use that phone accordingly. Next is the 2615. This is one of our newer models. As of right now, this is our only GRP model of phone that is sidecar compatible. So we'll get into the GBX20 here in a few minutes. That's what you see on the right-hand side of the phone. But this is the only GRP phone that is that sidecar compatible. You have a larger screen on this one. So you're at 4.3 color versus 2.8 in the 2614. 40 multi-purpose keys. And again, you can set up to 4 of those expansion modules to go with it. Again, Wi-Fi as well as Bluetooth. And finally, the 2616. So like the 2614, this will have your dual LCD screens. However, the screen up top is the same size as the 2615. So you get a larger primary screen up top with the functionality of the second LCD screen down in the bottom right, should you want to use that for BLFs as well as speed dials and virtual multi-purpose keys. Again, this model is also Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. All of these devices, as well as some of the new ones I'll show you today, connect to our GDMS platform. This is our online device management tool. So what can you use it for? Well, this is your tool to manage and monitor SIP devices. It's a free software. You can sign up online, I believe it's gdms.cloud, and start popping in any devices you want. Essentially, this is to empower you to add value as you sell to your downstream customers. So this will give you a centralized interface for those customers where you can monitor, manage, and provision those devices no matter what type of scale we're talking about. So unified deployment device management, you can diagnose if something's going on. It includes real-time monitoring and alerting. It's all cloud-based, so there's no setup required. The only thing you need on your end is your list of MAC addresses as well as serial numbers. We ask for both for security purposes. You can pop that in, and essentially away you go. We also have some back-end APIs where you can integrate that management tool into some of your systems that you might be using on your end as well. So again, it's a free software. I empower all of you and encourage all of you to use it if you haven't already. It's only going to help you, especially as you scale with endpoints as you continue to sell. So getting into some of the other products we have here, this is the GBX20. This is that expansion module for the GRP 2615 as well as the GXP 3350, which I'll talk about next, I believe. This gives you 20 keys per page, and each module contains 20 pages. So we're talking up to 40 BLFs available per module, and you can daisy chain up to 4 to give you 160 buttons if you need it. This has a 4.3-inch screen, so we're talking the same size as the GRP 2615. And the firmware can actually be upgraded through the host phone itself or GDMS. So some of the newer products that have been recently launched, we have the GXP 3350. This is our smallest screen Android video phone. The important thing to note when you're discussing video phones, there's 3 models, 3350, 3370, 3380. The third number will tell you the size of the screen. So the 3350 in this case, you're looking at a 5-inch screen. It's going to be on the Android 7 operating system. It's going to have built-in Bluetooth as well as PoE. That way you can connect Bluetooth headsets. It does have integrated Wi-Fi, so you would be able to set this up easily with a remote office. And this is also the sidecar compatible with the GBX20. So you can also cascade those modules should you need it. With the 3380, now we're talking 8-inch screen, 8.0. Again, this is on Android 7, built-in Bluetooth as well as Wi-Fi. This will also give you 1080p, where the 50 is actually 720. So you do have full 1080p HD video compatibility with 30 frames per second. Does have dual mic speakerphone with echo cancellation. And again, Bluetooth built-in, Wi-Fi built-in, as well as PoE if you needed to go that route. For those of you who have not seen the user interfaces of our video phones, this is a little sneak peek into what those look like. So you have your normal audio call in the top left, obviously your dial pad in the bottom left, your three-way video conferencing. So if you had a conference going, that's essentially how the panel's pictures would look within that interface. You have your conference call on the bottom below. That's essentially no picture, just audio. Your conference control top right, and then your video recording bottom right is what that looks like. So some of the newer products that have just been recently released, we'll start with APs, because those are the newest essentially. So we just launched our new outdoor 7630 LR. This is IP66 weatherproof. I get asked that quite a bit. So you do have the IP66. It's 4x4 MU MIMO. It is also the only antenna, the only access point we offer with detachable antennas. So this is the first one that we've launched with detachable antennas. The antennas that come in the box, you're looking at a 300-meter range. You can swap those out to directional or omnidirectional, depending upon what you need, but they are detachable. Second access point I wanted to discuss was the GWN7602. For those of you who have not played with this device, it's actually a very, very cool device. Originally was designed for hotel deployments in hotel rooms, but naturally with everyone working remote now in home offices, they've become prevalent in that scenario. So essentially you have a local AP, it's got 4 ports in the back. So you have a 1 gig PoE uplink and then 3 10x100s, 2 being power supply to power devices such as phones via PoE. On top of that, the access point itself has a 100-meter range. So it's enough to light up a room or a couple rooms, but also gives you the ability to power devices as well on the desk. Most important one right now being phones, obviously. Lastly, in regards to our access point, we do have our GWIT Manager. Essentially, this is our Power AP controller deployment tool. So essentially, again, like GDMS, this is a value add for you, given that it's free and you can essentially monitor and manage those access points that you have out in the field without necessarily rolling trucks. So for those of you who have used GWN.cloud, this is now the software version of it. So it's essentially giving you the ability to deploy in a private network. Obviously, it's flexible, it's scalable. You can have all your access points in here, but also gives you alerts and statistics that can be viewed via a web browser to see the health of your access points and monitor all those from your home office. And then finally, the newest addition from a phone standpoint is our cordless Wi-Fi phone, the WP810. It's going to be a lower cost model than the WP820 for those of you that have played around with that. Essentially, we are looking at this to kind of go after some of the decked type deployments that people are asking for. So rather than you setting up a parallel deck network, having to worry about phones, base stations, repeaters in some circumstances. This gives you the ability to program these phones over the internet connection at the customer site. And then assuming you are on that internet connection, you have voice over Wi-Fi. So this is dual band Wi-Fi. You do have the configurable button on the side for push to talk, similar to the WP820. It does have a headset jack as well for those of you that wanted to go hands-free. But again, this is more of a position as an alternative solution to a decked network type deployment. So some of the upcoming products I wanted to talk about real quickly. I know everyone's excited for the new UCMs. I'm sure everyone has a ton of questions about it. It's going to be a very popular product. I'll give you a real high overview because some of the specs are actually still evolving and changing before we launch this. Honestly, I think something changes every day with it. We're adding something. So we haven't quite pinpointed exactly what's going to be in each model at this point. But for right now, here's what we're working with. So you do have the monochrome LCD screen on top. The UCM series, the new UCM series, I guess I should say, is based on the latest Asterisk version 16. So it is running an upgraded engine versus all of the previous UCMs we have. And it is going to be compatible with GDMS, both for cloud setup, but also management and monitoring of those UCMs as well. That's not something we've had with the old ones. Honestly, it's probably not something that we're going to be adding with the old ones anytime soon, if at all. So this will be full GDMS compatible. It does have a built-in call center suite and call queue management tool to more efficiently route those calls. And it does have some enhanced features from work from home setups. So as people come out of lockdown, they're looking for a new solution that might be easier to deploy in a scenario like we're working with now, or maybe people are more open to remote workers when we get out of this. This will have enhanced features to make all of that setup easier down the line as well. Next, we have the GSC 3570. This actually launches on Friday, I believe, of this week. So this is going to be a new HD intercom and facility control station. It's going to have a 7-inch touchscreen. It will have alarm inputs as well as outputs, and will have full duplex two-way HD audio with advanced echo cancellation. So think pairing this with some of the access control systems that you have out there. I've also heard some use case scenarios where people will throw this up outside a conference room and let people book a conference room, on this device as well. But it is intended to tie into some of the access control things you're doing and give you the ability to, look through this screen as if you were looking through a camera outside. And speaking of cameras, one of the things I wanted to point out here from a new product standpoint was Grandstream is getting back into the physical surveillance arena. So we left it more or less about 12 months ago, and now we're coming back. So we are launching 2 new models, both a dome model as well as a bullet model, like you see here. So depending upon what mount you need, we can offer both. Similar specs on both. So they're going to be full HD. They're going to be infrared technology. So that's going to give you the balance and exposure. They both will support alert notifications via outbound voice or video call. And they will both be 920 by 1080 as their primary stream and 640 by 480 as a secondary stream. Last but not least, both models will also support motion detection. So you will have that ability as well in these cameras. So pretty exciting stuff. I know a lot of people have been asking us to bring cameras back, and we heard you loud and clear. We are. The last thing I wanted to cover was IP video talk. So for those of you who have not tried IP video talk, I highly encourage you to sign up for an account at ipvideotalk.com. Our base package, we do have a free plan. It'll give you 50 participants and 49 video feeds. All I ask you is just to try it. Let me know what you think. Let VoIP Supply know what you think. It's it's a free plan out there if you wanted to try it. It's all WebRTC based, so you do not have to download and install anything. You literally click a link, it brings it up. It'll give you screen sharing ability, VoIP dial-in if you wanted to use it, and also ties into our GBC series if you wanted to get into the video conferencing type aspect within meeting rooms or classrooms and what have you. So again, ipvideotalk.com, sign up for a free account. Let me know what you think. Now, a couple use case scenarios. I know pretty much everyone's going to be in the SMB space. So, when you're talking SMB space, obviously you can deploy the on-prem IP PBX, the UCM, the phones, but also the access points, run everything through GDMS, tie it into IP video talk if you want. So pretty easy there. Most of you have already done that. Couple other use cases that we've seen recently. The education vertical's been big. So you see a picture on the right. That's actually one of our GVCs in a Chinese classroom while all this pandemic stuff has been going on. They're using IP video talk to communicate from the classroom to the kids at home. Another use case is healthcare. So telehealth has been huge. I know it's been huge with VoIP Supply in particular. So having the ability to, not only see from doctor to patient, but also verbally communicate at the same time has been big. And then finally, with government deployments. So you actually see here, this is the Spanish Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez, using our GVC and IP video talk platform for meetings in Spain while all this has been going on as well. So we do have some pretty cool case studies around the video conferencing segment, especially with all the COVID stuff going around. Last thing I wanted to touch is Partner Connect. I highly encourage, if you do not have a partner ID, to get one. VoIP Supply can shoot you over the link if you do need to get signed up. It's free of charge. There's no cost to it. There is some perks you get to being a Grandstream partner or having a certified partner number. First thing, you do get priority tech support. So you're not having to go through the end user portal, as I'll call it. You do get funneled into a priority queue. This also is going to give you sales tools and marketing materials. All of our marketing kits are available where you can skin it with your logo, send it out to your customers. That way you're not having to reinvent the wheel with marketing materials. So all that's available to you. All of our training and education is also included within Partner Connect. While everyone's still kind of working from home, I encourage everyone to at least go through our basic level of certification. It's all available online, so you can kind of go at your own pace, look over the webinar notes, the PowerPoint, take the test online, get your certification. That way, when we are able to travel and host our on-prem GCP trainings, you already have that prerequisite knocked out. So that's something easy that you can do. Going a little bit deeper as far as the marketing materials available to you, you have comparison charts, battle cards, sell sheets or spec sheets, as I call it, and presentations. So if you are going on site, if you are doing a remote presentation, all that's available to you. Grandstream Academy is a little bit of the training aspect. So the certified specialist, the GCS training, again, that's all available online. I highly encourage everyone to go ahead and knock that out if you have time now. It's good for a year, but that'll also set you up once we do start getting back into the swing of things as far as online trainings are concerned. And case studies. So we will write case studies for you. If you want a case study, if you want to get your name out there, just let us know. We're writing up a bunch of them right now, especially with everything going on and some of the cool projects that I've been a part of personally. It's available to you. It's only to get your name out there even more so, and tell us a little bit about cool deployments that you might be doing. Finally, we have a bunch of videos up, both within Reseller Connect, but also our YouTube channel. So we have sneak peek webinars, stuff similar to what I'm telling you right now. You can just go at your own pace. We have tutorials. I know our team has been putting together some great tech talk type tracks. I highly encourage everyone to watch those. They're shorter in length, but more topic driven. For instance, if you're looking to interconnect UCMs, or you want a tutorial on putting together, eventless BLFs, you have that ability just to watch those quick videos and learn. We do have case study videos, so touching on the last slide, we can put together a video if we need to. And then we also have product-focused webinars. So the webinars our marketing department's doing for a specific product, you can go back and watch those later as well. Last but not least, I highly encourage everyone to connect with us. We're putting out content every day. If you haven't connected with VoIP Supply is putting content out every day. We do some pretty cool contests. So if you do, have a device out in the field, or you run into a Grandstream device that you think looks familiar when you're out and about, once we can get out and about, we do some pretty cool raffles and gift card type stuff around that. So connect with us. We don't spam you, I promise. It's only to build the Grandstream community, as I say. So with that, I told you I'd be 30, 40 minutes. Looks like I was about 33. But wanted to thank everyone for jumping on. Wanted to leave some time for questions at the end. Like I said, I wanted to keep it real high level. So for those of you who do have specific questions, feel free to ask now, and Abdel and Lewis can take care of you. But other than that, I wanted to thank everyone, and thank VoIP Supply for putting this on. And stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll get through this.